How much more time do I have, Madam Speaker? 35? 25, okay. I'll do the best I can. So let me just try to indicate to you, as I read through the Qur'an, and I'll try to get through this quickly because you guys look tired. And I know you're interested to find out how that basketball game is turning out. Let's see, does the Qur'an really emphasize reason as essential to human growth, to this experience we're having on earth, to our very purpose? And the answer is definitely yes. So much so that even Western Orientalists, people who wrote against the Qur'an, said that this is a major feature of the Qur'an, a feature that you cannot miss. Henri Lemens, writing in the early part of this century, one of the famous Orientalists, who wrote very much against Muslims, hoping to unseat them from their religious belief. He wrote, "The Qur'an," and this is his quote, "is not far from considering unbelief as an infirmity of the human mind." Unbelief is, he thought, and he was saying it mockingly, is like, you can't think straight. You're not using your mind right, as my father used to say. Maxime Rodinson wrote at length about the rationalistic approach of the Qur'an to faith. And this rational tone of the Qur'an is one of its most salient features, beyond doubt. I'll just give you a few quotations. One of its fundamental themes is that people ignore or reject God's signs and corrupt religion precisely because they do not use their reason. And the Qur'an will say that again and again and again. The Qur'an says about the disbelievers, they refuse to reason and are a people who do not reason. I have 7 such quotes in the Qur'an. The Qur'an will say, will you not reason? It mentions that 14 times to the reader. God reveals signs and lessons and admonitions so that, and this is a quote from the Qur'an, perhaps you will finally use your reason. There are 8 such statements in the Qur'an. From the Qur'an's viewpoint, reason and faith are allies, just as illogic and false belief are allies. And it clearly sets the conflict along these lines. It says the right way has henceforth become clear from error. Those who benefit most from the Qur'an are persons of insight. 16 such statements in the Qur'an. Firmly rooted in knowledge, 8 such statements. Use their reason, 10 such statements. Stand on clear evidence and proof, 7 such statements. Those who oppose this revelation are deluded, 9 such statements. In manifest error, 28 such statements. Ignorant, 15. Foolish, 3. Have no understanding, 9. Only follow surmise and conjecture, 9. And blindly adhere to tradition, multiple times. It states that. In an almost Socratic style, the Qur'an repeatedly quizzes the reader and calls into question his or her assumptions. Again and again, it asks us, what do you think? 18 such statements. Have you considered this or that? 13. Did you suppose? 7. Sounds like a math teacher. Do they not ponder? 2 such statements. Do you think? Do you even think? 18 such statements. The message is clear. To gain truer faith, we need to free ourselves from inherited notions and examine our beliefs rationally. Learning plays a key role in human development. Read, the Qur'an exhorts the reader. For God taught us the use of the pen and taught humankind what it otherwise could not know. In life, nature, and history, in the Qur'an, there are signs and lessons for those who are wise. There are 21 such statements. The Qur'an states over 100 times that it has been revealed to make things clear. I thought the author of this Qur'an must have had a strong mathematical insight, a natural mathematician. All throughout, when I was reading, I was trying to imagine what he must have been like. God teaches humanity both directly and indirectly, and sometimes so subtly that we are unaware of his instruction. Thus he tests us in multifarious ways. Of course, I just want to make it clear, Muslims believe God himself is the author of the Qur'an. Sometimes I give this speech and people come away and ask me, Jeff, who is the author of the Qur'an anyway? But I didn't know. So I was just trying to figure it out. Repetition is indicative of the importance given to certain ideas. It should be observed that the Arabic word for knowledge in the Qur'an, ilm, appears 854 times in the text in its various forms. It's one of the most frequently occurring words. So the Qur'an really does put great emphasis on reason in our spiritual quest.